My very first foreign language was French, and I started learning French in primary school. At the time, it wasn't compulsory, and I went to an extracurricular club to do this. I kept going just because they gave you croissants at the end of term, which was a good enough motivation at 7, 8 years old. And so I just kept up with French, and then I started secondary school. And then by the time I got to GCSE, I wanted to do Spanish. And I was okay at French, but I wanted to do Spanish because of Shakira. When I say the story out loud, it's really embarrassing. So Shakira had just released an album with some Spanish songs on it, and I was like, oh, I want to know what she says. And so I wanted to do Spanish at GCSE. However, at my school, to do Spanish, I also had to do French. So I ended up doing both, just because, why not? It wasn't a thing at this point, it was just something that I did and I was okay at, and so I kept doing them. And then I decided when I picked my A-levels that I actually think this would be a good skill to have 2 languages. This is great. So I decided to keep with Spanish and French. And that's, I think, when I realised that I quite liked languages. And I sort of began to dabble and began to learn more about other languages and to learn about language families and think, oh wow, if that's related to French and Spanish, And I remember my A-level teacher saying to me once, oh yeah, with your knowledge of Spanish, yeah, you could go to Italy, live for a year and speak Italian. You could go to Portugal and you speak Portuguese just like that. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. There's so many languages that are sort of opening up to me just from French and then Spanish, and then it just becomes wider and wider. I knew that I didn't want to go to university, but I did want to keep studying languages. And it was about a year since I finished my A-levels and I discovered the Open University. And I was like, this is perfect. I can work, I can travel, and I can study languages, and I can get a degree. This is it. This is exactly what I've been looking for. And so I started that. However, the first level was the French and Spanish at level 1 was what I'd done at A-level. So I thought, right, let's start something new. Italian and Chinese, why not? It's going to happen eventually. And from there, it's just snowballed and snowballed. And I've gone on to do German as well with the Open University and to teach myself a bit of Portuguese and Dutch and Japanese along the way as well. And it's just something that I can't see stopping. I mean, during my time studying my degree, I started my own language company. Lindsay Does Languages, and I teach and I blog and I make videos all about language just to share and to inspire people around the world that this is something anyone can do and that everyone should do. It's a really enriching experience to learn another language, and I just can't see a time in the future when I'll stop.